Hello all commanders and welcome back to Nikke, Goddess of Victory, and today we are talking about this character right here, Siren, because I initially greatly misjudged her. Not by thinking that she was bad, I mean I knew she was going to be good, but I didn't realize how good, because I figured that when I was maxing her out that it was going to be fairly wasteful because she is a support character. And support characters are not normally known for their damage potential, with a few notable exceptions. And turns out Siren is in fact one of those notable exceptions, because for reasons that I don't fully understand, she pumps out ridiculous damage. Against the Kraken and the anomaly interceptions, I mean, she does of course have elemental advantage, but Siren over here outdamages my Red Hood on a normal day, which is unexpected. Cinderella still holds the crown in that fight, albeit barely, which is in and of itself quite fascinating. So, we are going to take a look at her skills and see what we are cooking with. Her Burst 1 here, Bubble Order, first of all, gives the Focus Fire effect continuously. Normally, you only get Focus Fire if you are manual playing and in your full burst. She can just do it, which makes sense with her Kodama and lore and all that jazz, because she can effectively tell people what to do. I suppose in this particular case, she uses bubbles to guide bullets, which, hey, fair enough. When the full burst ends, she reduces the burst skill of all allies by 7 seconds and change. Any burst skill is always great, and this is a particularly good one. When entering full burst, she cranks up all allies' attack damage, always good. And based on how much ammo is consumed, she just straight up fills the burst gauge. So any concern that you had of Siren not being very burst gauge efficient, this puts that to bed pretty quickly, with the slight caveat that it is particularly helpful to make sure that you do have allies that can use a lot of bullets, which means she will lose a teensy-weensy bit of effectiveness if you are not using machine gun, SMG, or AR characters. If you're using shotgun or sniper rifle characters or rocket launcher characters, you might suffer a little bit. Now, I tend to run her with Crown. Crown is an excellent character just because of how many bullets Crown is meant to sling. Crown honestly operates on an extremely similar mechanic. Because she works off of normal attacks as well. Lots of bullets means that she gets buffs. She pairs very well. Now, for the sake of just raw power in like campaign, I run a team of Siren, Crown, Red Hood, Cinderella, and Drake, just because they're my strongest by a noteworthy margin. Not really ideal. Cinderella thankfully does fire much faster than your average rocket launcher character. She's a little more akin to like a slow AR, so it's not as bad with her. Red Hood is not ideal unless she's in her full burst, which in that case it makes up for it a little bit. And then Drake is not ideal for the team at all because she is a shotgun character, but I just love Treasure Drake, and she is like literally my second strongest Nikke, and hey man, stage penalties, gotta get around them somehow. So not an ideal team. You really want to pair her with machine gun or AR characters. I'm particularly looking forward to the upcoming Gluttony raid, because like half of the freaking good fire code characters are machine gun characters. And there's no shortage of AR stuff either, in the form of Asuka, Grave, Scarlet, and then in the SMG side of things, not quite as much on that side, but like I said, the machine guns more than make up for it. So anyways, refocusing here. If we look at her burst, or her skill 2, whenever an enemy appears, they get the bubble effect, basically meaning that they just automatically will be taking more damage than normal after landing 50 normal attacks, specifically from her. Well, actually, I don't know if that's specifically from her. It says affects the target if the target is in bubble status. I don't know if this is 50 bullets from... It might actually be 50 bullets from everybody. Oh, no, wait, no. No, it's 50 bullets from her because it was specified that. So 50 normal attacks from Siren. They get the explosive bubble effect, where it removes bubble. They get the damage taken effect, and they get stunned for 3 seconds, which is always fun. And then every 1 second during full burst, they just take more damage, basically 4 times. This percentage looks small, but that bad boy adds up in a hurry for, again, reasons that I don't fully understand, but I will certainly take it. And then every time, yeah, here we go. Every time total ammo consumed by allies reaches 500, a random enemy is dealt final attack damage. I think it's because of this attack sequentially thing, so it's like 85%, but 10 times, totaling up to 850%. I think that's why. Because it scales up pretty aggressively. Of course, with a disclaimer that these are all at level 10. So this is why the more bullets you have, the more effective she's going to be. And probably why I'm very tempted to stick her in my Evangelion Fire Code team, just because they sling a whole lot of bullets. And that would pair really nicely. I can't decide what team I'm going to stick Siren on in the Gluttony raid, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, funny enough, her burst skill is actually considered mediocre compared to some other options, although they will say that she more than makes up for it with her skills 1 and 2. But her burst skill is a simple one, but a good one. Affects all allies, attack damage goes up by 10%, reloads the magazine by a chunk, and then she herself gets higher attack damage so that her skill 2 will do more damage. It is simple. Let's not deny that truth. It is a simple burst skill. It is your basic burst 1 20-second skill. But at the end of the day, that's kind of all she needs, considering that everything else in her kit works beautifully. I mean, it's tasty. It's real tasty. As far as what you want for overload, you want elemental damage, almost always, max ammo, and attack. So on this one, we've got elemental damage and max ammo. We've got elemental damage, max ammo, very good, very good. Elemental damage, attack, and max ammo and attack. Yes, I burned a lot of rocks to make this happen. I burned a lot of rocks to get these proper stats, but I have a feeling it will pay out very nicely, because even if you're not against a wind-weak character, she works just fine in just about any team. And then, of course, we've got the Bastion Cube, because the more bullets, the better. Alternatively, you could also use Resilience Cube, because the faster she reloads, the better. Although it is more than a little amusing, the idea that she has to reload a bubble. But I mean, hey, gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Even bubbles need to be reloaded. She also shoots fast as crap, which is nice. But she's gotta be one of the only SMG characters in the dang game that I've seen that actually does good damage. I mean, the new Escape Queen Quincy's pretty good, but other than her, there are not a lot of SMG characters that do damage. So it was a little bit of a shock to my system to see that she actually does damage and does it real good. Let's jump into a battle here, just a test round, just to see what she can do, because she really mows some bosses down. Like, it is a little ridiculous, actually. There we go. Okay. So what I want to do here... Actually, here's an idea. I want to go into a Fire Week fight here. What I'm going to do is, just for giggles, I'm going to put in my normal team. Just because this is what I normally use. And then I want to swap everybody out with an optimal team that I would use against a Fire Week boss. Just to kind of get the comparison of what we are cooking with here. Because, like I said, considering that Gluttony is Fire Week, but there are so many Fire Week characters that use a metric ton of bullets, I kind of have a feeling that Siren is going to unironically cook in the Gluttony solo raid coming up. And I mean, shoot, this fight alone, and I'm not even gonna bother with any kind of pesky auto doings. We're just gonna be doing lots and lots of pain. As you can see, we are not having any trouble doing damage here. But of course, the proof will really be in the pudding of what we get. Now, we do have Red Hood's burst happening, getting a little bit of lag actually. But if we're taking a look, we'll see that her damage is almost on par with Red Hood, which is no small feat. Drake is technically beating out Red Hood a little bit. That's mostly because this character is, in fact, Fire Weak, and she is a Fire Code Nikke, which is doing her quite a lot of help. So we're just going to let them slam and jam on the boss here. Of course, the trick is going to be, of course, figuring out Gluttony's mechanics, because, ironically, the event version of Gluttony dies so fast that it kind of is hard to get a bead on what Gluttony actually does. But we'll just have to see once we get there. We're having no problem doing damage, that is for sure. Yeah, see, she's able to keep pace, whereas my crown has fallen way behind, as would be expected from a support. But Siren just don't care. Siren is just here to cause some pain with bubbles. And you know what? I am A-okay with that. Okay, we're at 1.3 mil. We'll cut it off at the halfway point here. So we are at about, okay, 1.4, almost 1.5. I don't want to be here all night, so we are going to go ahead and switch over to what I would consider my optimal Fire Code team. We're gonna go, we're gonna go for Grave. Where's Grave? Where is she? There she is. Grave, let's go. Oh, dearie me. Let's go Asuka. Oh, from our other two Fire Code characters, like I said, I'm really going to have to experiment to see what works best on Mr. Gluttony. But I think we'll go... Yeah, we'll go Ray. Actually, no, we'll go Mahara and Ray. Ray, I think, is, of the two, I think Ray's the one that tends to be used in the off slot. I think Modernia tends to get a lot of love in the off slot too, but I think this will do for now. So we hit the 1.5 mil pretty handedly in the minute and 30, so let's see what happens in this iteration. Now, unexpectedly, this will do more damage because this is the correct code. I'm just a little curious to see. This is more so for my own benefit than anything else. The chains from Mahara are unironically kind of amazing. The cool thing here is that, of course, bullets. Lots and lots of bullets. Between Mahara, Ray, Asuka, they are slinging out a metric ton of them. So this thing is going to be taking quite a bit of extra damage, I suspect. Now, some of these characters are not quite as built. I mean, Max Core, Cinderella, aggressively built Red Hood, Max Core Drake. The damage might not be equal, but if it's even anywhere close, I'm going to consider that a pretty dang good test. And might even still beat him out, or at the very least come close. Which I am A-okay with. They're doing their damage. I also do need to bump up Ray's skills a little bit. Like, this team is, like, easily B-team level compared to my main team I just showed off, and yet they're keeping pace pretty dang well in my opinion. Not least of all because of Siren. Now, if we do look, again, even though she's not... Even though she isn't the correct element code, she is keeping up with Grave and even beating Ray, which is more than a little amusing, I won't deny. Of course, Ray's not using her burst, which is helping a little bit, but I mean, hey, somebody's got to be in the off slot, and right now it is Ray, and Siren is beating her by just an itsy-bitsy bit. Let's see, 10 seconds before our cutoff here. I call that pretty dang good. Pretty dang good indeed. So these are characters that have dramatically less investment, doing just about as good. Also with Mahara really putting out some pain. You'll love to see that. So, with a bit of specialization on on Gluttony, that team should work dramatically better. Now, like I said, I don't know if I want to use Siren in this team against Gluttony or not. I haven't decided yet, because Siren can really work in just about anything, it seems. Whereas some other units are more well suited for that. I can't decide. I haven't decided yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, that is Siren. Easily a top tier character. And while it's certainly not necessary to max core her like I did, it certainly does not hurt, because yeah, she does a surprising amount of damage. So yeah, we are going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.